What's up? Welcome to the Smiling In podcast, where I'm trying to get my friends to say a secret word or phrase, unbeknownst to them. Is that the right use of that word? Unbeknownst? Whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. They have no idea that that's what I'm trying to do. So I've got 9 different episodes that I pre-recorded, 9 different guests, and they're all very suspicious of me. So have fun listening and trying to figure out what I'm trying to get them to say, and have a great day.
Double checks the ID to make sure it's real. I'm like, all right, come on. It's like, let me order my drinks. So he gives me my thing. I'm like, all right, I will have 1 sea breeze, please. He's like, sea breeze. I'm like, yeah, a sea breeze.
What's a sea breeze?
So a sea breeze is vodka, grapefruit juice, and cranberry juice.
Okay.
It's delicious. So I had like 2 of those and like a shot of tequila before I went into the party.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I'm in there. They have free drinks too. So I'm like drinking these like wine coolers. And that's like the only thing they have.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird, but they were pretty delicious if I'm being honest. And like 10 minutes in, this woman asks me to move over, and I'm like, all right, whatever. I turn, and it's Kiki Palmer from Aquila and the Bee. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, yo, is this who I think it is? So I turn over, and I'm talking to the DJ, and I'm like, yo, is that Kiki Palmer? And she's like, yeah. I know her. I'm like, what? I'm like, so you're like kind of famous. She's like, yeah, I guess you could say that. And then like she starts performing, and I'm like 7 drinks in at this point, so I'm like feeling myself.
Okay.
So I'm dancing, like badly, and I look over and like everyone else is just like bopping their head. I'm like, damn, so I'm like the only person getting down right now, and everyone else is like mad chill.
Oh my god.
So I had one of my other friends come meet me, and she was just standing there, and I'm like dancing, doing dumb stuff, and she's also not dancing, and I look around and no one else is dancing.
Oh my god.
So that's new with me.
Wait, okay, sorry, I started laughing because you said Kiki Palmer, like, from Aquila and the Bee, and of all of the things that could be on her IMDb, you chose Aquila and the Bee.
I honestly couldn't think of another thing she's been in. That, or like, that TV show where she played the vice president for like a fashion company?
Yes, True Jackson VP.
Yes, but I couldn't think of the name.
Oh my god.
Or Jump In. She was in Jump In, right?
I didn't see that. Was that like a jump rope movie?
Yes, that was the jump rope movie with Corbin Bleu.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a boxer, but I also really like jump roping.
Right.
So like did like double dutch competitions where I was like,
yeah.
All right, not really a good idea for a movie, but as like an 8-year-old, I definitely watched that movie like multiple times.
I don't remember ever watching it, but I know about it because Corbin Bleu.
Yeah, I mean Corbin Bleu from High School Musical.
Yeah.
I honestly I wonder what Corbin Bleu's up to these days. Like, it's something I think about.
Yeah. I can't say that, that I also think about Corbin Bleu sometimes and how he's doing, but that's a really good question. I hope he's well.
Yeah, me too, He was always, like, underrated in the High School Musical movies.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone only talked about Zac Efron, Vanessa Hudgens, that blonde lady.
Sharpay. Ashley Tisdale.
Yep, that's the one.
Oh, God. Yeah.
But Corbin Bleu, I feel like was, like, the guy in the background, dancing really well, singing really well. Probably the best actor out of those 4 people at the time.
Right.
And now he's just, like, not doing anything. And Zac Efron is just like, what's up? I'm Zac Efron. I have an 8-pack. I'm in your movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. Do you think Zac Efron auditions anymore? Or do you think he just waits for calls?
It depends on, like, the kind of movie. Like, if it's a romantic comedy, he definitely doesn't have to audition. Because it's like, oh, yeah, we'll get Zac Efron. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if it's like a movie where he wants to play like a serious character, I feel like he has to audition, just because, like, casting agencies are probably like, oh, you usually do these kind of movies. I don't know if you'll be the right fit.
Yeah. Maybe. Man, I lost my train of thought. What was I gonna say? Oh, do you think he still makes like residuals from High School Musical?
Oh yeah, for sure. That was like a really popular movie,
Yeah.
and I honestly still watch it like once a year.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I can't say I've seen it more than twice.
I don't know why, but now I kind of watch it ironically, just because I
Mm-hmm.
love making fun of it so much.
That's like me in the Twilight series.
I get that. Twilight's like honestly pretty bad.
I rewatched the first one maybe like a month ago, and I don't remember it being so funny. I had to, that scene where she walks into her science class for the first time and Edward like looks like he's going to throw up.
He, it always like made me feel really weird that he was like 100 years old, right?
Yeah.
And he was like super interested in like still going to like high school and like flirting with like high school girls. I
Yeah,
thought
that's
like
gross.
pretty pretty weird, right?
Yeah, I mean, cuz he's what in what, a 17-year-old's body for the rest of his life? His eternal life. But is he like mentally still a 17-year-old, or is he just physically still a 17-year-old? Like is it weird? Like has he matured like in his mind? This is probably all explained in the books that I never read.
I mean, I read like the first Twilight book when I was like 11 years old,
Yeah.
because like every single kid in my fifth grade class read them.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, whatever, I have to read them. And I honestly don't remember them talking about his like mental age at all. But let's say he did age mentally. He's like 100 years old, and he's like into like a child. Let's be honest. Like, if you're under like 20, you're a child.
Yeah, I mean, I think because, like, just simply because of, like, life experiences, he had to have matured at least in that sense. So, even if he still acts like a moody teenager, I don't think he should still be considered one.
Yeah, it would be like, it's weird that he'd be into a 17-year-old girl.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was 17, I was like hardly into 17-year-old girls.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, your mom's looking pretty good.
Gross.
I mean, old women deserve love too, okay?
Yeah, no, I get what you mean, because, like, my guy friends in high school, I mean, they would always make jokes. Like, if someone's hot mom showed up to pick them up from school, like, they wouldn't shut up about it.
Oh yeah, like I talk about it for like at least a week.
Yeah.
And if they were really hot, the whole school year.
That's funny.
And if someone's older sister came by, man, that was like a topic of conversation for at least 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
One of my coworkers, his sister's like really pretty, and now like I always make jokes about like becoming his like brother-in-law,
Yeah.
and it makes him like super uncomfortable, but I honestly don't care.
So let
'Cause
me
I
get
think
this
they're
straight.
funny.
Let me get this straight. So it's okay for you to make jokes about someone else's older sister, but I can't joke about your brother? Your
I
very
mean,
hot brother?
he is a very attractive man. And my brother is like, let's be honest, he's a 10.
Yeah, he
Uh,
is.
And I wouldn't say it's not okay for you to do it,
Mm-hmm.
but it does make me uncomfortable.
Okay, so imagine how your friends in high school felt.
That's honestly a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I guess I'll change from now on.
I think the correct like way to go about this from now on is to just let me meet your brother.
I mean, I guess you could do that
If you wanted
to.
I feel like that's the appropriate action to take here.
Let me explain this.
Okay.
So my brother, in the looks department, is like a 10. But if we're talking about his personality, on good nights it's like a 6, a 7 maybe, or like on bad nights he's like a hard 4.
Oh God.
He can be very into himself.
That's
Seth, if you're listening to this, I'm very sorry.
Seth, if you're listening to this, you know what to do.
You're too much sometimes.
My Twitter's gonna be in the description in the YouTube video, so I'll let you take the next step there.
Cue to like 10 years later when you guys are getting married or some shit.
That would be so funny. No, that would never happen.
Visualize.
Well,
You have to.
I mean, I would move to Brooklyn, and I would live with you and your parents for the rest of our lives, and then Seth will propose to me, and but we're gonna have our wedding in Dallas because that's where all of my family is, and that's where I'm from, and we're gonna have our honeymoon in, let's see, where do you think Seth would want to have his honeymoon?
I don't know. Probably like some dumb shit, honestly. He's like into the weirdest places.
Really? He probably wants to I'm trying to think of somewhere where he can box while he's there.
Honestly, his ideal honeymoon would just be visiting really famous MMA gyms around the country.
What's the word for like right after you get married, then you have to go back to your hotel room and blank.
I want to say consummate?
Yes, consummate, yeah. But his idea of consummating our marriage will be finally fighting each other in a boxing match in the ring.
No, his ideal thing would be training you to like just become like your peak Marina.
So he would always have a sparring partner. His vows will include I promise to always be your sparring partner.
Oh my God. That would be so awful if he said that.
That would be fucking hilarious.
You'll be my training partner in this life and in the next.
In his will, he's gonna ask to be buried with his gloves.
I mean, he did spend a lot of money on his gloves. They're like expensive.
Yeah.
They're like only made in Japan.
You're joking.
And I'm not kidding. They're winning gloves, and they're like, you have to import them from Japan, and they're like $250 plus, depending on like the weight of the gloves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think like 12-ounce gloves are $250, and like 16-ounce gloves are like $400, and then custom gloves are like, they're up there.
Yeah.
And he has like 3 pairs of them.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty extreme. They're like, all of his friends make fun of him because they're like, you could get like a $60 pair of gloves. He's like, no, I like my winning gloves.
That reminds me of Ahmad with shoes.
Yeah, and the shoes he buys aren't even that nice.
That's what I'm saying. So during Ramadan, he kept trying to buy shoes, and I was like, Ahmad, come on. You don't need to do this. The whole point of fasting is to remember what other people don't have all the time. And he's like, you're right. Thanks for being such a positive influence.
Oh my God. I mean, I understand like buying like a really nice pair of shoes that will last you like forever.
Yeah.
You know, but like the shoes he buys are like, it's like Nike stuff that's like gonna get messy in like a couple years the way he wears them.
He has
You know what I
that
mean?
one pair that looks like a Tide Pod.
What about like the pair of shoes he like was trying to sell, and they kind of looked like Nike Tims?
Yes.
It's like who? I like DM'd him. I'm like, can you make them a size smaller? And I was like, actually, no, I would never buy those shoes.
That's so funny. Because I saw them and was like, oh, brown Nikes. That's interesting. But
It's a bold choice.
I think it's only right that you know, being from where you are in New York, I don't want to dox you, would see Tim's.
Yeah. I wake up, I see Tim's. I go to sleep, I see Tim's.
I
It's
feel
all
like
I think about.
I feel like, you know, I just said I'm not going to dox you, and then I basically doxed you by saying
I
that.
mean, you basically doxed me earlier when you said move to Brooklyn to live with your parents.
Oh, that's right, I did.
So it's like, sorry to dox you, but you know, you live in Dallas, right?
Yeah. No, I even said that in the same sentence. I said,
I
but we'll
know.
have the wedding in Dallas because that's for my family.
You're like the person who posts, like, you're like Jake Paul when you, like, took a video of Post Malone's house
Oh God.
and then, like, edited it after the fact.
But it's my own house.
Yeah.
It's fine. Dallas is a huge city, and so is Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn's pretty big. It's a good thing I didn't tell you, like, my address or something.
I do have your address.
I know.
I kind of want to move to Williamsburg, but I know that
Oh
I
my
don't make
God.
enough money for that.
Please don't. The people in Williamsburg suck. They all, like, wear their beanies, like, rolled up where they don't cover their ears.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are you wearing that hat? It's literally doing nothing to protect you from the cold right now.
Oh no. Is that just like where hipsters live or something?
Well, like, hipsters live in, like, Williamsburg, Bushwick, Crown Heights, like, all those places. Like, they used to live in the Lower East Side, but that's too expensive for them now,
Oh.
you know, because they moved everyone out with their coffee shops
Mm-hmm.
and WeWorks.
Interesting. Well,
You know, honestly, I probably sound like a 40-year-old man who's just, like, angry about, like, young people.
I felt that myself after I said the word hipsters. And oh, you know when else I felt really old was when my dad was driving me to the airport and we passed by this restaurant that's really has been really popular since it opened here in my town. And
Mm-hmm.
he said, I heard such and such is getting some negative reviews on the internet. And I said, oh, really? What about? And he said, the service quality. And I said, well, what do people expect? They only hire teenagers who do drugs. And I
Yeah.
felt so old immediately after I said it. I was like, oh God, I can't believe I just said teenagers who do drugs.
All those teenagers with their cocaines and their marijuanas.
They smoke weed and things, and it's unseemly.
Unseemly.
That's my best old person voice.
Pretty good. I had a very similar moment where I went to brunch with my mom a couple weeks ago for her 50th birthday.
Yeah.
You know, shout out my mom.
Happy birthday, Mom.
And we were at this restaurant we used to go to all the time when I was younger. And I was there, I'm like, oh my God, has the service gotten worse? I'm like, yeah, I think it's because, like, all the wait staff is, like, really young now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the guy, like, started, like, talking to me about, like, because I forget what I ordered, but he was like, good choice. I'm like, yeah, whatever. You know, just, like, bring me my food. I don't want to have a full-on conversation right now.
Yeah.
And then, like, I looked around and, like, it was way more hip than when we used to go there before. I was like, damn, I really miss the gay waiter who was here last year. He was really nice. He looked at me in the eye when he took my order, and then he just left me alone. So, in conclusion, Pride Month.
Did they have one of those bands playing?
What do you mean one of those bands?
with the sombreros?
You mean a mariachi band?
Yes.
Well, I mean, this wasn't a Mexican restaurant.
Okay. Oh, okay.
What kind of restaurants do you go to that just always have mariachi bands playing?
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
I mean, I'm not worrying about it. I just, I want to know.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay. I can't stop laughing. Oh, I'm so bad at this. I was just laughing because you said the word mariachi. And it was really easy.
Mariachi is a pretty funny word, if I'm being honest.
You're right. You're right, yes. It is a funny word.
So, did you watch the NBA Finals?
I did not, but I feel like Senem was basically live streaming it for me. I feel like I didn't even need to watch it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
You're not an NBA fan, but, the Raptors did win the finals.
Right.
And I just want to tell every Raptors fan right now that Kawhi Leonard is still going to leave you.
Oh.
Kawhi Leonard's their best player. So,
oh, no.
I'm sorry about that, but he's going to be a Clipper next year.
Oh. What city is the Clippers in?
They are in Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought those
I'm
were
a Clippers
the Lakers.
fan, so... Well, Los Angeles has 2 NBA teams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That seems... that seems a little excessive.
Well, the Clippers were originally in San Diego, but then their owner, I forget when, was, moving them... he was trying to move them to LA, and the NBA was like, oh, no, you can't move to LA. And then he, basically just, tanked them, so they were so bad that they had to move to LA.
Oh.
I mean, I could be completely wrong right now, but that's what I think.
I mean, it just seems a little petty to do that if it is true.
Yeah, I think he just, this is also the guy who, was recorded by his very young girlfriend saying, really racist things. So, it wouldn't surprise me that he's racist and petty.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I mean, that I don't have anything to say about that. But here in Dallas, we only have the Mavericks, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
And the Mavericks are a good team,
Yeah.
I mean, not anymore, but it used to be a good team.
Isn't Dirk Nowitzki retiring now?
Yeah, he's retiring.
Yeah. I mean, I don't watch basketball, but
he's a million years old, though,
to hear about it.
I would have been sad. He was, one of the best players of all time. We were talking about the greatest of all time to do things, so let's go back to talking about Twilight,
You're right. We should go back to talking about Twilight, because if we're talking about the greatest things, then Twilight's definitely up there.
It should be in the conversation for one of the greatest, worst movies of all time.
Yeah, I mean, writing-wise, I didn't actually read the book, so I can't say a whole lot about, is her name Stephanie Meyer? I think that's it.
I think it's Moyer, but I don't know.
Moyer? I think it's Meyer.
I could be wrong.
So I don't want to, be too judgmental because I never read the books. So, maybe it was just
it's basically Christian propaganda.
Do you think the screenplay was just really bad? Because,
I think it's a combination of the both. because like the books were also just like really like Christian in a way,
Really?
like really religious. Yeah, like the whole thing how like they couldn't have sex before marriage. There's like a lot of like really Christian undertones to the
Oh.
books. Yeah, it's weird. It's like it's a book about vampires, or basically like pedophiles, because he's making out with a 17-year-old girl the entire time, but they can't have sex before marriage.
I think the reason that I didn't read these books when I was a kid was because I just wasn't interested in vampires.
Were you like the only person who wasn't interested in vampires?
I must have been, but like when I was younger than like before the books were even released, like during my emo phase, do you remember a website? It was like a forum of sorts called Vampire Freaks.
No, I never really had an emo phase.
Oh, but
No, but
yeah.
tell me about this website.
Okay, so this website, you could join like guilds on the forums, and and that's how you made friends. There was a whole guild that you could only join if you had really cool dreads. And but not just like like natural dreads that are appropriate to have, like dreads because you're a white girl who's very goth. And like I don't know if it's like neo goth, but like the dreads were brightly colored as well. And then there was also I don't know, there were like different contests. Like there was one thread that was like um post your pajamas, and if you win then I don't know, I guess you just get clout on Vampire Freaks, but this was before the word clout was invented. So I don't know. I remember that one specifically because I posted a picture of my pajamas. They had like what was that little girl? It was like she had red hair and she was like really pale. It was like Emily Strange, maybe? I don't think I'm getting that right. I know, but I had
What was she in?
it was I think it was like a book, like a little series of or a little series of drawings. I don't know.
I can only think of like one female character from books. Right now it's Amelia Bedelia, and I don't know what she's from, but that name just popped in my head.
Amelia Bedelia was a legend, but we'll come back to that. And I was wearing a 30 Seconds to Mars t-shirt, and I just looked really emo.
Love Jared Leto.
And it was the worst quality photo, but I won the best pajama contest, and I was really surprised. I actually still have that photo, so I will include a link to that in the description of the YouTube video, and Aiden, I will show it to you after we finish recording this. But
It's like, why haven't I already seen this photo?
because it's extremely cringy. But Amelia Bedelia, let's talk about her. So she is part of a series of books, like children's books, and she was a maid for a rich family, I guess, and they would ask her to do things like dress the turkey for Thanksgiving, and she would literally dress the turkey. Any instructions that she's given, she takes very literally.
What book series is she from though? Because I just remember the name, but I don't remember anything else.
That's it. Her books were called Amelia Bedelia and the blank.
Oh really?
Yeah, stuff like that.
Did you read those books, like as a kid, where they would just like go back in time from like a treehouse?
Yes. Yes.
See,
What were those called? Were they just the Treehouse Chronicles?
I feel like it was like the Magic Treehouse or something. But I would like buy those books at like like the Scholastic Book Fair.
Yes.
And I would literally never read them.
I got them
I would
like
just
for
buy
my
it 'cause
birthday and stuff.
Your birthday. When's your birthday?
April 12th.
What's your sign?
Aries.
Oh my god, you're such an Aries.
Why do you say that?
Mercury is in retrograde right now. You can't take anything I'm saying seriously, okay?
It's still in retrograde?
I have no idea.
In February, I was getting ready to buy a laptop, the one that I'm using right now, actually. And, I was telling my coworker about it. And she goes, "Oh, you don't want to do that." And I was like, "Why? Why wouldn't I? Like, please explain." Because that sounded really suspicious. And she goes, "Well, Mercury's in retrograde right now. You don't want to buy any electronics."
That makes a lot of sense.
And but and I didn't even know how to respond. I was just like, "Thank you. I'll keep that in mind." And I bought my laptop anyways, but she literally told me that it was gonna break if I bought a laptop while Mercury was in retrograde. And
Sorry.
I've only had one issue with it.
What was the issue?
Oh, it just didn't turn on for 2 days.
Oh. Right. People always say Mercury's in retrograde, but what does that even mean?
I really don't know.
Can someone explain it to me? In the comment section, can someone explain what it means?
I would also like to know. I'm probably going to Google it on my own. Actually, you know what? I really don't care enough to Google it. So, yeah, I'm going to rely on someone else telling me.
In high school, now that we're talking about signs.
Yeah.
This girl was like, "Oh, Aiden, what's your sign?" I was like, "Oh, I'm a Sagittarius." And she's like, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense." And I was like, "What do you mean by that? Is being a Sagittarius bad?" And she literally never explained that to me.
Really?
Yeah, so now I'm just thinking, am I doing something wrong, at all times?
She probably just thought it would be a cool thing to say, and she didn't actually know why it was interesting. She just wanted to make you sweat.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because this person wasn't very smart.
I feel like that's something that I would do. I'm sorry, my phone keeps vibrating because my mom is texting me about Father's Day.
Father's Day is a very important event.
No, but I just wish she had told me about the plans sooner, so my phone wasn't going off right now.
What are you gonna do for your dad on Sunday?
I don't know. Let's see. Let me check my text messages. She said, doing Father's Day lunch after church. Mass is at 10:45 a.m. We're meeting at Grandpa's house after that, and we'll go to the restaurant just before 1. Mediterranean food. I'm not going to read the next one because that's just the name of the restaurant and the address.
That's probably a good idea.
I've actually never heard of that restaurant before, so I guess we'll see how it turns out.
Please keep us updated.
Yeah, I will. I'll tell you all about it. In fact, I'll probably tell you about it in another episode of this podcast, but it'll be a different guest, so we'll see.
Wait, so you're saying I'm not going to be on every week?
Well, no, because I'm pre-recording all of these episodes in bulk, so you're just in one episode for this go.
Sorry, I don't understand.
So, there's only going to be 9 episodes, and I have 9 different guests.
I'm being sarcastic.
I know. I was just playing along with your bit.
Well, I was explaining that to our slower listeners.
Ah, right.
I'm looking at you, Ahmad.
Ahmad. Ahmad is not going to listen to this.
Yeah, but there's a chance.
There's really not. Because we did the Titty Gang podcast, right? Me, Alexia, Holly, and Maria. He didn't listen to any of those.
Yeah, but I only listened to one of those too, so.
Thank you.
I'm not blaming him on that one.
No wonder our listener count was so low. I guess I should address that for anyone who has listened to both of these now. This is my second podcast project. The first one was the Titty Gang podcast, which was doing fine. It's just it was so hard to get all four of us in one episode. So it was just something that we felt like we could just let die, and honestly, nobody really noticed. So, I mean,
I was a very loyal fan, so I noticed.
You were not. Yeah. We had 2 Patreon subscribers, and one of them was me.
You guys had a Patreon?
Yes.
That's pretty funny, honestly.
We had a Patreon, and I was one of 2 pledges. The other one.
Who was the other pledge?
The other one was Joe. Solely because he wanted to be in our Discord server.
Who's Joe?
Joe. Joe.
Am I supposed to know who Joe is?
Yeah, Joseph. I don't know how else to explain him.
Just saying his name over and over again is definitely gonna make me understand who he is.
His name is Joe. He goes by Joseph. I don't know what else to tell you.
No, but describe him.
He likes to wear hats.
Yeah, Joe who likes to wear hats. Now I know who he is. All right.
He has a car named Sylvia.
Yep. What an idiot. How did I not know Joe?
He and I, we went to Olive Garden together, he and I. Did you ever see that on my Snap story? Did you ever watch my Snap story? You didn't.
So
just
on to the next topic.
No, so Joe, his username on Discord is Yosef. He and I went to Olive Garden. We saw a movie. We hung out.
That guy.
Yeah. I had that video on my Snap story of him eating a breadstick in the grossest way possible.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I did not watch that.
That's fine. I'll send it to you later. It's pretty good. It's pretty funny.
All right. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
There's a 75% chance that I'm not going to watch that.
That's fine. Whatever.
A video has to be really funny for me to watch it.
I thought it was really funny. I was laughing pretty hard. We were there.
Also, it was it was really bold of you guys to start a Patreon, before you guys had a concrete following.
Well,
you guys they'll come.
Well, so here's what happened. I made it just in case, because Patreon was I got wind that Patreon was going to change their terms of service so that you know how Cody and Noel have their Patreon set up where you can either pledge 5, 10, 20 or 15, 20 and you can do so for free. Well, they can have you do that for free. The way it is now is they technically have been grandfathered into a membership, a plus membership. It's like Spotify Premium, basically. And so the free version of Patreon is now much more restrictive. You can have it basically only has the capacity for one-time donations of however much somebody wants to donate to you. There's no recurring subscriptions in the free plan anymore.
That's pretty silly. That's their whole business model.
Exactly. So they changed that. And if you want to, I think it's, I don't remember how much it is per year to have the premium plan for the way that it is now. But so I made it, and I thought we'll just keep this on hand for when we do want to start telling people that we have a Patreon. And then I think we were like on our second episode, and when we were closing out, one of us, I'm not going to name names, but it wasn't me.
Was it Holly?
It
was probably Holly.
I'm not going to say yes or no because you're just going to narrow it down until we process of elimination. Then you'll just know, okay, it was this person.
Oh, it was Alexia.
I'm not going to say. Anyways.
You can tell me after.
Okay, I'll tell you after. Fine. But basically, yeah, somebody towards the end of the second episode was like, by the way, we have a Patreon, so the link is in the description. Just go give us money. And
why didn't you just edit that out?
I wasn't the one editing that episode. I didn't have to start editing them until like 4 episodes in.
You guys made 4 episodes?
No. We made like 8 or 9.
Huh.
Yeah, it really wasn't that many.
I was surprised. I thought you guys only made 2.
No, we made a lot. We were on Spotify too.
I listened to the first one because I think that's after I found out Mads and Holly were dating.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, well, if Mads likes this person, she can't be that bad. So I listened to it, and it was pretty good. You guys went on like a weird rant about makeup.
Yeah.
Halfway through.
Yeah, and I completely zoned out. Because I don't have anything to say about makeup. Well, I do now, because Maria helped me put together, I don't know, like a more concrete routine, I think. And Sunam also forced me to prove to her that I was moisturizing every day. So I have more of a concrete, like, routine that I do now, and I feel like my makeup skills have improved. But I still buy my makeup from Target, so...
You can't get the James Charles palette at Target?
I will never support James Charles again.
Why?
Because of the thing that he did.
Yeah, but I thought that was, like, a lie.
No, what? Where did you hear that?
Because he made another video, like this 45-minute video.
Of him fake crying?
No, that was the first video of him fake crying.
Oh.
The second
right,
one, he came at them with the receipts.
Had. No, yeah. I mean, because those can get taken out of context. I didn't watch that one. I was already done.
See, I didn't watch the first one, but I watched the second one. And I have, like... I'd never watched makeup videos.
Yeah.
So I was like, why am I watching this? But then I just watched the whole video.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm with James Charles in this one.
Wow. He won you over. Sorry.
He won me over.
I was laughing because I haven't replied to my mom because I'm in the middle of something, and she texted me again because I didn't reply to her. And all it says is buffet style.
Buffet style? I could go to a buffet style restaurant right now.
Do you want to go to Golden Corral?
Never, not in a million years.
Okay.
I mean, like, a good buffet.
Chinese
buffets are good.
Okay.
But, when I go to buffets, I try to beat the buffet.
What do you mean?
So, only eat things that are, like, somewhat expensive for them to buy.
Yeah.
So, like, skip the bread, skip the pasta, skip, like, all the sides and go straight to, like, the carving place where they're, like, carving turkey or, like, roast beef or, like, prime rib. If you're going to, like, a Chinese buffet or a Japanese buffet, for Japanese, you go straight to the sushi.
Mm-hmm.
Straight to, like, the fish, that kind of stuff, because it's a little bit more pricey for them. And you don't want to fill up on, like, rice, noodles. Rookie mistake to go for rice and noodles.
I mean, I don't feel that strongly about cheating other people out of $1. I mean, not saying that that's what you're doing, but when I go
I mean,
into a
it kind of sounds like
buffet,
that's what you're saying.
when I go into a buffet, my only goal is to find the food that I want to eat, put it on my plate without having any of the food touch, and then eating it. And I always like see things after the fact that I wanted to get, but my plate's already full. So I tell
With
myself,
what, like pasta,
oh,
like mac and cheese or
I
something?
mean, like, it depends on the place, but I always make the mistake of not looking at everything first. So, like, I'll fill up my plate with, like, just the first things I see, like orange chicken or, like, a chicken kebab or something like that. And then I'll do, like, once over, or I'll move on to the next thing and thinking, well, maybe I can squeeze one more thing on here. And I always find something else that I might want, and then I I think to myself, well, I'm gonna eat this, and then I'll come back. I mean, I can. It's a buffet, but then I get full, and I never take a little second trip.
The thing with buffets is you always take small trips, right?
Mm-hmm.
And get a little bit of everything so you can try more things.
I don't like the idea of having to get up and go get it.
Oh my god, taking those 10 steps must be so hard for you.
Well, I mean, because, like, what if it's crowded? What if it's Mother's Day and it's super crowded and everyone's.
People, wait, is that like a thing? Do people like go to buffets on Mother's Day?
We did last year.
See, like on Mother's Day, I normally just take my mom out to brunch.
You know, the last time I went to a buffet, it was a Chinese buffet and it was on Mother's Day. And it was super crowded.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, like, Golden Corral is the same way for me, though. Like, I'll fill up my plate and then, like,
Yeah, but Golden Corral's
I'll
gross.
get back to the table and I'll see someone else has something that I actually really want, but I don't want to waste the food I've already got on my plate. So I eat my food, and then I never end up going back.
You know, I've been to one Golden Corral, and it was for like a school field trip. We were like visiting colleges or something in high school, and they had to like buy us dinner. So they were like, "What's the worst possible thing we can buy our students?"
Yeah.
So they chose Golden Corral, and it was just like, just everything looked cold, and you know that like commercial with like the chocolate fountain.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know so many dirty, disgusting little kids are putting their fingers in that chocolate fountain
Oh,
that
well.
would literally never in a million years eat out of it.
Oh, that's. Now it's ruined for me.
Well, you know, you had to learn that eventually.
I guess you're right. I mean, I could have gone without it, and I could have just never known. And I
Yeah,
would
but
have still enjoyed the
then
chocolate fountain.
you'd have been eating a bunch of little kid germs.
I mean, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah, but I don't want little kids near any of my food.
Can I tell you about the dream I had the other night?
Yes.
It's not safe for life, but I'm gonna tell the story. So, here I go. um, Basically, you know what? I have screenshots because I told it really well to somebody else. So, in my dream, I picked up a piece of dog poop and I ate it. And it tasted like fudge with walnuts in it. And basically, then I remembered I'm eating dog shit. And I started puking. And, and like, I kept chewing it because I didn't want to spit it out and bring attention to myself, but I couldn't bring myself to swallow it. So I just had shit in my mouth. And I remember thinking, man, this stuff tastes really sweet. No wonder my dog eats his own shit sometimes. Wait a second. what did he eat that made his shit taste like this? Like, starting to get angry. Like, what the fuck did my dog eat? And then, wait a second, I'm eating dog shit. And that was my dream.
You know, that was pretty funny. That's a weird dream to have, though.
Yeah.
I wonder, like, dreams, like, symbolize things in your life, right?
Yeah.
So what does, like, the dog shit symbolize for your life right now?
That I'm picking up a lot of dog shit.
Let's dive deeper into this. You know?
No, I literally, because my dog had a little accident in the living room, and I had to pick it up, and he's still a puppy, so I'll still, like, inspect it a little bit and make sure that, you know, there's no worms in it or blood or anything crazy going on in there, because you've got to monitor your dog shit when they're that young sometimes. And I don't know, some part of my subconscious in my brain must have looked at the dog shit in the toilet paper in my hand and thought, what if in my mouth? What if? And that's probably what prompted the dream.
I've cleaned my cat's kitty litter for, like, a large portion of my life.
Right, but you don't inspect it.
No, but I mean, there was one time when one of my cats was having, like, diarrhea.
Oh, no.
So I'd have to clean it up, and I never once thought, cat poop, my mouth.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm just... I think it's also a combination of that and stress.
So, you know, what are you stressed out about? Is there something happening at work?
No, actually, it's not work at all. Although, I will say, sometimes my coworkers stress me out. Earlier today, I started talking about autonomous vehicles, you know, like self-driving cars, with my coworker. And more than once in the conversation, he tried to derail me and change the topic to sex dolls. Because robots. And every time he tried to talk about sex dolls, I just stared at him, waited until he stopped, and then finished my thought about autonomous vehicles. And I was just done with him. And then...
I mean, I can see why his mind goes to that place. You know, a vehicle for my penis, sex doll.
But, like, I get really hyped up about autonomous vehicles. Like, they're really cool to me, and I've got a lot to say. And this guy wants to talk about sex dolls? I was getting a little upset. So then I left and I went to the bathroom. And I come back and he asks me, "Do you do goth?" And I wasn't sure if I heard him correctly, so I go, what? And he asks me again, "Do you do goth?" And I was like, "No." Why? Why are you asking me this? And he said, "I was just wondering because your eye makeup is a little dark today." And I was like, "It's called a smoky eye."
Oh my god, he does not get fashion.
No, and then maybe 10 minutes later, he starts asking me if I like Slipknot.
Do you?
I don't think I've ever gone out of my way to listen to Slipknot. I mean, I wouldn't say that they're on a list of bands that I like listening to.
So, you mentioning your coworker asking you if you do goth, makes me think about, like, so I get my nails painted.
Yeah.
And one of my coworkers just, like, does not understand why I get my nails painted. So my nails were neon orange last week, He was like, "Oh, out of all the orange colors you get, you picked neon orange."
Mm-hmm.
And like, I work at a gym, so like people see my nails,
Yeah.
and literally every woman, like every person, like every member who comes in who's a woman, it's like, "Oh my god, I love your nails. They look great." And one girl was like, "Oh my god, neon is so in right now."
Yeah, she's right.
She is right. So now whenever my coworker like mess with me about my nails, I just be like, "Brandon, you don't understand. Neon is in right now. Just don't get fashion."
I love
All
that.
right, so I have a pretty funny story to tell.
Okay.
I mean, it's not funny, but so this older woman notices my nails.
Mm-hmm.
She looks at me. She's like, "Oh my god, you are so brave." I'm like,
What?
"Why am I brave?" She's like, "It must be for gay pride, right?" I'm like, "Nah, I just like getting my nails painted."
That probably
So,
blew her mind.
oh my, she like looked at me like I was
Like,
crazy.
what? Boys
Yeah.
don't have to have an agenda to paint their nails? That's crazy.
She was like, but painting your nails is for
Oh
girls.
my
I'm
god.
like, so then she's like, so you can paint your nails, but don't take it too far.
What?
So I'm like, I'm intrigued. I'm like, what do you mean, don't take it too far? She's like, well, painting your nails is one thing, but I don't want to start seeing you dressing like a woman. And I'm like, so I was like, well, yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way I dress. And at this point, I was like pretty done with the conversation. So she's like talking to me and my coworker, and I'm just like slowly backing away
Yeah.
until like I'm just completely out of that situation. And I was like, damn, it's crazy how like people are just low key transphobic like that.
Yeah, like, thanks for your concern, but, I
If
think
I want to wear a fucking dress, I'm gonna wear a dress.
I, I
You
just,
know?
I feel like, I'm not gonna dress because of you, Karen. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think your opinion is that important here.
It's not. I just wanted to mention that old people are weird.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I don't know. I guess I get it and I don't because it's a little more normalized for us. But come on. I mean, doesn't it blows like every single person that's older than me. It blows them away that I know how to use a computer.
Do you know how to turn that thing on?
Yeah, or or like I'll make a spreadsheet on Excel and they're blown away. It's so easy to impress them.
I can hardly turn this thing on.
I I don't I don't I mean, like, I get it, but I also don't cuz you've had plenty of time, Linda, or Lisa,
Let me just open
Sorry.
up this computer.
I
Types in www.google.com.
I just backtracked there cuz my coworker is named Linda, but she's she's not the she's not the inspiration for this topic of conversation.
I mean, I will talk about one of my older coworkers. I mean, he's not there anymore, but he was this older gentleman, Tom, and he spelled that Thom,
Right?
and he just like did not know how to use the computer system at all. He would like constantly make mistakes. I'm like, you've been working here for like 3 years now. He was like a retired VP of like some bank, and
Mm-hmm.
he was just working there because he lived in the neighborhood and wanted something to do. But I'm like, how do you not know how to use this computer system? Like, you've been working for like 3 years. You must have learned something by now.
Right.
But it was so funny when members would complain, and then when they wouldn't really know how to describe him without like mentioning his age. Like, oh, that short guy. Like, do you mean the older gentleman? Like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, it's hilarious. So, because I work at a car dealership, and customers will come in, and we happen to have two Corys, and they'll they'll come in and they'll just say, "Hi, I'm here for Corey," and I'm like, "Okay, uh, Corey B or Corey C, and they're like, he's tall, he's skinny,
I think I know where this is going.
he's he may or may not have glasses. He's a little, and at this point I just stop them and I just ask, is he black? And they're like, yes, he is. Thank you. And I'm like, okay, so we're talking about Corey B. I'll call him. Like, just say he's black. It's not that big of a deal.
He was wearing a vest last time I saw him.
Oh, wasn't that an SNL sketch?
It was, I think it was a Mad TV sketch or something.
Yes.
And then I know, the only reason I know it was a Mad TV sketch because Amy Schumer ripped off like that exact sketch.
Yes, that's how I knew about it.
Man, can we just talk about how bad Amy Schumer is for 1 second?
Oh, God. Oh, she's pretty bad.
Like, relax. Nobody thinks you're funny. Just, like, stop making comedy. Just stop.
I mean, I'm sure she's a fine person. I don't
know.
I guess her comedy style isn't for everybody. It's definitely not for me. She did that movie, I Feel Pretty. Did you see that?
No.
I think the internet had an issue with her being the main character because the whole point of the story was that the main character is not conventionally pretty, and she's not fat, she's not ugly, and she's a blonde woman, like, and she's white, so like there wasn't really a whole lot about her that wasn't pretty. She just didn't look like a supermodel. And so I think,
beauty's subjective. So, like, there are a lot of people who probably think she's, like, fat and ugly.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure she gets a lot of that online.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like the way that she was being portrayed in the movie was maybe hyper.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't watch the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely an exaggerated version of what she really is, which is an attractive woman. But they were, I don't know, I don't think I worded that right, but they were trying to make her look super hideous and unattractive.
The only Amy Schumer movie I've seen was Trainwreck. And the only reason I watched that movie was because LeBron James was in it. And he was surprisingly good.
I don't think I heard about that one.
It was a movie where Amy Schumer is like a writer for like a magazine, and she needs to do like a piece on like some like sports doctor or something, and she's like, I don't know about sports. Wow.
Oh,
you know?
great.
So then like she falls in love with the sports doctor, and like the sports doctor has like all these like really famous clients, like LeBron James. So like in this one scene, LeBron James and Bill Hader, who plays the sports doctor, are going out to dinner, and LeBron James is like, I don't have my wallet. I'm gonna need you to get the check. And he was like pretty funny when he said that.
Yeah. God, she's so quirky and relatable.
I know, right? Like I'm a girl. I don't know sports.
So I think we're about like 65 minutes in to recording. Well.
Yeah, you have that thing, right?
Well, so I'm gonna tell you what the thing was. So basically, the bit that I had was to get you to say a secret word. And your secret word was mariachi. And it was...
I mean, I said it multiple times.
You did, and that's why
I said it like 3 or 4 times.
That's why I was laughing so hard. And,
I was like, is this person that... I was like, is Marina dumb? Does she not know the word for mariachi?
I was just trying to get you to say mariachi, and you said it so...
Oh my...
Like, it was so easy. I think I need to come up with harder words for the next few episodes. I don't know. But the point is that I came up with the idea and I did it. But
I mean, 10 out of 10. It was a success.
It only lasted like 30 seconds, the bit. So
I mean, I'm also pretty gullible.
Do you want to hear what Dan's was?
Yeah.
I got him to say, "I love beans."
Really?
Yeah, I did. And it was actually not that hard, but he said it like 15 minutes into the episode.
I mean, I said it, a little bit.
Yeah.
More than that.
Anyways, so yeah, that's the podcast. Do you have anything to plug before we wrap up?
I mean, you can follow me on Twitter. I will drop my link. Well, I'll give it to Marina, and she'll drop the link in the description. Other than that, nope.
Okay. Well, that's it. Catch y'all on the flip.